And hey guys, we're now back with some more Cathy Rain today. A detective is born. So we're gonna follow on from where we were yesterday, which I believe we were then putting together like basically a mixtape of Charles Wade's voice. Hang on one second. I don't know why Streamlabs bosses decided this pick. So I've got a cat in front of me right now. Just give me 1 second, guys. There we go. Oi. I also have a cat curiously sitting in front of me and kind of under the mic at the moment, so you might hear some jingles every now and then because she's being a little curious little bean. She's a very quiet cat, so you won't actually hear her meow, but you might just, you know, hear a little jingle here and there. So this is the save file we had, so let's carry on. So we made up the tape, I believe, wasn't it, to say something like... I think we can check it.
Not right now. I have...
Okay.
That action doesn't seem productive.
You've reached Erica Wade. Leave a message after the beep.
That action doesn't seem productive.
Hello, Erica. It's your father.
Ah.
Call Cathy Rain and give her what she wants. Bye.
You've reached Erica Wade. Leave a message after the beep.
Hi, Erica. This is Cathy Rain. I spoke to your father. He asked me to get in touch with you and said he would call ahead. You can reach me at 555-8352. Bye. Your move, Erica. Oh, hello there, Mildred.
Hi yourself, Agatha.
What? How'd you... Ugh, never mind.
I know your social security number too.
Oh, God. Soon you'll start stealing my clothes and then walk around in them pretending to be me.
Who says I haven't done that already?
Okay, I admit that's pretty funny.
So anyway, how did things go with Dave?
Pretty good. I had to sabotage your computer.
You had to what?
Oh, chill outy. It was just a tiny little thing. I just needed an excuse for the IT guy to come by so I could steal his password.
Clyde? But he's so nice. Why'd you want to steal his password?
It's a long story. And then I used Mr. Wade's synthesized voice to craft this fake message, which I left on her answering machine.
Now that's some out-of-the-box thinking.
Yep, just might be silly enough to work.
Yeah. Anyhow, feel free to keep using my computer. I need to do some homework anyway.
Sounds good. I think I'll have another crack at analyzing the picture of the lights. Maybe I can find some clue as to where it was taken. Unusual flower over there, though. Never seen anything like it. Maybe worth printing? Okay, I'm pretty sure that's all there is to find in this picture.
It's got an equilateral triangle in it, so...
I don't want to print that part of the image. Hey, E, come check this out.
Wow, they're hypnotic. Looks like a will-o'-the-wisp. You know, the spirit of the forest.
Now, that's just silly, Eileen. There has to be a more reasonable explanation for them.
Hey, there's nothing silly about forest spirits. You should talk to Meadow, my Wiccan friend. She's really opened my eyes about these sort of things.
Isn't that the same Meadow who had an intimate relationship with a tree outside her dorm?
Oh, come on. That was just a phase.
Trust me, I've been through every phase in the book. That definitely isn't one of them.
So, anyway, is there anything I can do to help?
Well, my side of the room is starting to get a bit messy. There's always that.
Haha, I meant with the investigation, silly.
I guess you could try to find out more about these lights. Maybe figure out where that picture was taken.
I know exactly where to start.
Good. I'm gonna get some food now before I pass out.
Okie dokie, I'll grab my books and get cracking.
All right, see you in a bit.
Hey, Mr. Rigby, how you doing?
So, any progress with the search?
Yeah, I was able to identify that flower. It's called the red scythe, or Rosea falcus. I discovered that there was a small nature reserve near Conwell Springs, which was established in '89. The red scythe is on their list of endangered plants. I made a photocopy of the botany book page in case you want it later.
That's something. I should go check it out. Maybe I can narrow down the place where that picture was taken. And, good work, Eileen.
Happy to help. So what...
Oh, hang on. I'll go get that.
Okie dokie.
Hello?
This is Erica Wade calling for Kathy Rain.
Speaking.
Miss Rain, this is terribly awkward. I realize now how rude I was before. I wanted to apologize and ask if there is anything I can do.
Apology accepted. You can start by answering a few questions.
Very well.
What can you tell me about Mr. Wade?
My father is a great man. He has so many ideas, so much left to realize, which makes it hurt so much more to see him like this.
See him like what?
The illness and everything, of course.
Right. Yeah, it must be hard.
Oh, yes, indeed. I wish he wouldn't be so stubborn with his treatment. He could go to any state-of-the-art hospital, but insists on being treated in that backwater clinic in Conwell Springs.
The community clinic in the middle of town?
Yes. It's like he's given up and is just waiting for the inevitable to happen.
What do you know about Lily Meyer's art?
Oh, that little girl had a twisted mind, let me tell you that. Oh, my father used to have a few pieces of hers in his collection. Horrible things. I couldn't understand why he ever decided to procure them in the first place.
You say used to have. Did he get rid of the paintings?
Oh, either that or he put them in storage somewhere. I haven't seen them for years. I never bothered to ask him why. Glad to be rid of them, quite frankly.
That'd be quite good to look into, yeah. I mean, if you've got the commission, like people are actually asking for it, I'd go for it. Are you looking to do like what, paid commission, or is it going to be like sort of free commission?
you know about Lily Myers?
She was a young artist who lived somewhere in Conwell Springs.
Ah, okay.
Killed herself, if I recall correctly. Dreadful thing. But other than that, not much.
Yeah, you might be like if you do it as like a digital trade thing where it's like, oh, if I'll draw this if you, or I'll make this if you trade me these cards. People will definitely be more inclined to do that. Yeah. So go for it.
Do you know anything about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
It's the one and only church in Conwell Springs. I was baptized there, and I married my husband there.
Anything out of the ordinary about them?
Oh, not really. They seem like a typical church to me.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather that night in '81?
Not really, no. But what I do know is how it destroyed Father.
It did?
Oh, yes. The two of them were great friends once. And when Joseph was hurt, they hadn't been talking for some time. Father always hoped they would be able to reconnect one day. He kept putting it off, believing they had time. But in the end, it never happened.
So, what were things like back when they were still good friends?
Oh, they were like peas in a pod. Always sharing their war stories and laughing together. In a way, Joseph became the uncle I never had. He was around a lot when Father went out on business trips. Later on, I even met you a few times, when you were just a baby.
I don't remember any of that.
Oh, no matter, you were so little then.
Erica, I have to ask, why were you so defensive on the phone earlier when I tried to reach out?
Oh, I don't know, Kathy. Our families haven't been in touch for a long time. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but we all started drifting apart. My guess is that it had to do with Father's growing wealth. Friendship needs common ground, and we started living in different worlds. What happened to your grandfather was the final nail in the coffin. Father just couldn't bear seeing him like that, neither alive nor dead.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky? It may be an Air Force call sign.
I can't say that I do. Father had many friends in the Air Force, but no one I can recall by that name.
Okay.
You don't know what else I can ask her, really.
Very well. Feel free to call back if you have any more questions.
All right. Wade is in Conwell Springs. He's being treated in the clinic.
Okay. So we know where Charles is
That
now.
was Erica Wade. Her father is being treated at the clinic in Conwell Springs.
Being treated? He's sick?
Looks that way. Small miracle they managed to keep it out of the press.
Yeah, I suppose you are returning to talk to him?
It'll have to be tomorrow. It's quite late for that now.
I suppose. Scrabble?
Oh, you're so on. I will crush you.
Turning your pawn into a queen, is that the plan, buddy boy? You know me, I'm always playing the long game, old friend. That may be, but you're running out of pieces. First you lost your queen, then your knight. All that matters is the king. Delusional as always. The king is dead. Long live the king, check.
Good morning, sunshine.
Please tell me I dreamt all those Scrabble losses last night.
3 times in a row.
Rub it in, why don't you? I'll just go strangle myself now.
Oh, you. Don't be a sore loser. So what's the plan today?
Mr. Wade is the plan. I'll head for the clinic right away. While I'm at it, I'm gonna check out the church and the nature reserve.
Okie dokie. What can I do to help?
Why don't you continue looking into the lights? I have a feeling they're the key to solving all of this. You could also look up the history of Conwell Springs in general, see if anything unusual has been going on.
I'll get right on it.
Great. Thanks, E.
Oh, by the way, don't forget to check out the page I gave you about the red scythe. It's a pretty interesting flower.
Right. Yeah. It's a photocopy of a book page with information about the red scythe flower. Here's an interesting segment. Another interesting trait of the red scythe is the smell, which is familiar to that of a pepper. The pollen of the plant has also been known to cause hallucinations in concentrated amounts. Native American tribes harvested and smoked the plant for that reason, but the flower never caught on as a modern recreational drug due to the difficulty of growing it. All right, I'm off. Peace outie.
Okie dokie. Good luck and see you later.
Yep, it's full of trash. Figure that. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. It's that homeless guy who helped me distract Lenny. We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing I ever heard of, and totally untrue.
So, what's up with the trash can? Digging for treasure?
Well, I'm just going through a rough patch. By the way, you owe me $10.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Better get those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a stake through the heart.
What do they call you anyway?
Goober. Everyone calls me Goober.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
So, what's your story anyway?
My story?
Yeah, don't all bums have a story?
For your information, this is all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on. I have starred in dozens of Hollywood movies. The Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, The Usual Surprises, Natural Bald Killers.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
So, tell me about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
Tell me about The Silence of Lambert.
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns mute overnight. For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using a self-invented sign language, only to realize that true love needs no communication at all. He marries his housekeeper, who only knows 2 words in English, yes and clean. In the end, Lawrence dies of a heart attack in the arms of his lovely wife, Consuelo Lambert Vasquez. Based on a true story.
I'm not sure I want to know what Jacob's Bladder is about, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder. During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week, and he dies from a ruptured bladder.
Wonderful.
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
Natural Bald Killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school. One day, he has simply had enough of all the teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps and heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
Oh, never mind.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in 81?
I most certainly do.
What? Tell me.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
No, just no.
I should have known better.
Ah, yeah, because it's
I
probably
saw
really
it,
late for you
man.
now,
A
isn't it?
Huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taking the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's why
Okay,
he
you
was
have a
so
good one,
messed
Mr.
up when they put
Megabeast.
him back.
Have a good time and I hope you get some really good commissions.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Open your mind, man.
Do you know who Lily Myers was?
Yep, my dad was the one who found her floating in the lake.
Really? What can you tell me about her?
Ah, geez, not a lot. I mean, teenage girls, man, they're like their own species. Impossible to figure out. Not to mention how that entire family ain't like...
I will do, yes.
Now that's an understatement. Nearly started brawling with Sue the first time I met her.
She could sure deal out a mean whooping, that lady.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky?
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam. Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Why do I even bother? Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still walking, at least.
What do you know about Lily Myers' art?
Nothing but hearsay. People say it was pretty deranged.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac the priest is, anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
What kind of weird shit?
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Interesting. Do you know anyone else who was involved in the old church?
Not really, I tried to stay as far away from those people as possible. Ask Isaac about it, he's a friendly guy.
All right, I might do that. Do you know what this is?
Chinese fireworks, of course. I grew up in Shanghai, I know what I'm talking about. They used to call me Dong Pai, meaning round-eyed baldy. Those were some rough years. I miss the food, not to mention the women. Got 2 kids down there now, Mei Lin and Little Ping.
Time to hit the off switch now, buddy. Do you know anything about this flower?
It's red?
Enlightening.
Okay. So let's see if he knows anything else.
Do you recognize these men?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah. What about the other two?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Okay. Wanna smoke, buddy?
Nah, I got stage 2 lung cancer. I'm keeping it under control with a fruitarian diet.
Because that's how it
I
works.
don't need to show him that. Do you know what this key opens?
Your heart, mademoiselle?
Oh, brother.
No. It's terrible.
Okay, That's enough serious questions for now.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye.
Ah, so cheesy. So cheesy.
A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year. I can't read it from here. I can't read it from here. No thanks. Women's magazines make my brain melt. Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging. She looks bored out of her mind. Pretty understandable, to be honest. Excuse me, nurse?
Oh my god,
Hey,
thank you, Lucky. Thank you for
nurse.
them bits. Look at them hearts go. Look at them go.
Yeah?
They don't pay you much, huh?
No shit. What do you want?
That is,
I'm here to see
yeah.
Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
What a bitch. I need to get rid of her somehow. A computer. They likely keep records of their patients on it.
Hmm. Wow, that's a very short cigarette, isn't it? Just 2 puffs and you're done. That's a very short cigarette. That's for sure.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
So, how good an actor are you?
The best. The very best.
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies, and that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I know it. She always gave me these strange looks. I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
How about The Usual Surprises?
Business as usual. I can't believe you guys did all this for me. You know, what's this smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing. Thank you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
Hmm.
That wasn't really an electrifying performance. I'll have to intervene somehow.
Possibly,
Hey,
yeah.
doofus.
Oh, hi.
Hey, how about another show?
Sure. Any suggestions?
Natural Bald Killers would be the obvious choice.
Bald move.
Although she said his acting wasn't very electrifying.
For making me whole again. Turn this scalp into a breathtaking golden
Good
carpet,
idea, but
such
it
as
wouldn't
the
match
world
his
has never
symptoms.
seen.
Ooh,
Okay,
okay.
doctor. I'm counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Thank you. You've been a great audience.
Okay, so what was the one? There was one with an epileptic fit. That's the one he needs, and that's I have to ask him for him again. It's not the bladder one. It might be the unusual suspects, I think.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
So, tell me about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
This one.
Oh, never mind.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
Hey, how about another show?
Sure. Any suggestions?
How about The Usual Surprises?
Business as usual. I can't believe you guys did all this for me. You know, what's this smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts.
Nurse, he's seizing.
Oh, shit.
Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later.
Ah, damn it. Need to log in your username with me.
Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez.
Oh, hang
What
on.
a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
Wait. No, not use computer. What I meant to do was, where is it? I need that disk. Floppy disk. A boot disk. What a weird password. Okay.
Employee of the rows and columns of
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
That's not what this is about. It's personal.
Sounds serious. Perhaps I should ask Claude to produce his gun.
You know, Charles, the person most likely to be harmed by a gun tends to be its owner.
Very true. That's something that Japs who captured me learned the hard way.
Did my grandfather bail you out then too, or was that one of the few times where he didn't save your sorry ass?
Hold on there. Explain yourself.
You're willing to listen to something other than your own voice? I'm stunned. I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
It's hardly Grandpa's fault. He did everything he could to set my father straight.
Oh, I never claimed to doubt Joseph's commitment, but I'm not going to ignore his flaws either. Your grandfather often used his heart when he should have used his head.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I believe it is, objectively. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art,
Wet dream,
I had
eh?
it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks. Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense, he's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran, taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
Do you know what this key opens?
You must be truly desperate if you ask random people a question like that.
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
Do you know what this is?
A flower? Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
Just some boring landscape paintings. Looks like Wade brought some of his old tombs with him. I'd rather not. He'd crush me like a twig. Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Nope.
Do you know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned ahead about that. Lenny!
Yes, boss?
Get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86?
On it, boss. There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy.
That's the same guy who was apparently called Goober, isn't it?
I gotta find this Goldfarb guy. Maybe he knows more about the burglary. Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Not really, Kathy. Sorry.
Nah, I don't want to ask him about that. Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Sounds familiar, but I can't place him.
Hey, Lenny, do you recognize this flower?
Yeah, I accidentally inhaled pollen from one of them when I was a kid. I remember being sick and delirious for days.
Scary. Where did you come across this flower?
Somewhere in Conwell Woods. Not sure where exactly.
All right.
Okay, so we know it's in Conwell Woods then. Hey, Master, how you doing?
Do you know what this is?
I have no idea. Looks creepy, whatever it is. Where did you get it?
Grandpa had it hidden away in the attic.
Probably for a good reason, then. Be careful out there.
I don't want to. Well, gotta go.
See ya.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing real good.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
I don't need to ask him that. Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Do you recognize this flower?
Matter of fact, I do. It's a local endangered plant with mild narcotic properties.
Yeah? Have you come across any users in the area?
Sure, but it's a bit tricky to do anything about it. Using it as a substance is technically illegal.
Ah, so the illegal part is picking it in the first place.
Yes, knowingly picking the flower is a crime, according to the Endangered Species Act of 1973.
Gotcha, thanks. Do you know what this is?
Ah, it's just some kids playing pranks with flashlights.
That's all for now.
Good.
A photo of the sheriff shaking hands with some bald guy in a suit. Probably the mayor. It's always the mayor.
Wait, what? I didn't even get to see what that said, but okay. Okay, so let's go here.
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken. I'm not sure what I expected to find here. I need to clear my head.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah.
What the?
We've met before, haven't we?
I doubt it. You look like you just escaped from a circus. That's not really my kind of gig.
Yet you always play the part of the clown, Kathy.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
You told me, remember?
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending I will try to facilitate.
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the anomaly, the missing refrain, the convergence point of things past and events yet to happen.
Dial down the metaphors a notch, would you, Mr. Kafka? I get enough of that shit in English class.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed a color in its stead. The next time we meet, you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. Follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
Wait, what? How did I get here? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into Mom?
Oh, hello, dear. Glad to see you again so soon.
Hi, Grandma. I just thought I'd drop by.
Sure, hon. Stay as long as you'd like.
Mind if we talk for a bit, Grandma?
Not at all, dear. What's on your mind?
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is? He was a friend of Grandpa's.
I believe he teaches at the flight school these days.
I don't think so, at least not anymore. I was told he was placed in a mental facility.
Really? He always struck me as a kind man. Maybe a bit nervous and on edge, but not crazy.
There's more. I found out that Jimmy asked Grandpa for help not long before Grandpa ended up in that wheelchair. Jimmy sounded really desperate. I'm sure what happened to Grandpa that night had something to do with his cry for help.
You should go find the man then. Surely he must know something.
That's the plan. I just wondered if there's anything else you think I should know about him.
Not really. We haven't stayed in touch since Joseph was injured. I know that he had a wife, Agatha, and a son, James. Agatha passed away from cancer years ago, but as far as I know, James still lives in the city with his family.
Okay, thanks, Grandma. I don't see a reason to ask her about that. Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Oh, that poor man. He used to be an upstanding citizen, you know. Now he's constantly drinking and keeps babbling on about that imaginary acting career of his.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be Goober.
Do you know where I can find him?
He's homeless, dear. Lost his job a few years ago and never really got back on his feet.
Okay, now I know who you're talking about. Thanks, Grandma. Looks like I'm gonna have to have a chat with Goober.
Yeah, I knew it was Goober.
Do you know anything about this flower, Grandma?
I can't say that I do. I remember seeing it growing in the woods, but I didn't think much of it at the time.
What do you see in this picture, Grandma?
I have no idea, but it's quite an
He does,
eerie
doesn't he?
display.
Yes. He does sound like quite a Goober.
I'm trying to figure that out. I found the picture hidden in the attic.
Oh, come to think of it, the trees do look similar to the ones in Conwell Woods.
Yeah, it was taken somewhere in that area. I found out that the flower in the picture matches a rare local species.
Aren't you clever? Do let me know if you come across anything else.
Bye, Grandma. I'll be back later.
So long.
It's a photocopy of a book page with information about the red scythe flower. Here's an interesting segment. Another interesting trait of the red scythe is the smell, which is familiar to that of a pepper. The pollen of the plant has also been known to cause hallucinations in concentrated amounts. Native American tribes harvested and smoked the plant for that reason, but the flower never caught on as a modern recreational drug due to the difficulty of growing it.
Okay, so he's not here. Let's try the church then and see if we can get anything from there.
Hello, Father.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
I did. Rumors spread quickly around here. So how can I be of service?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a fate. You heard my speech at the funeral, Kathy. I meant every word. He was a great man who did much good for this community.
Did you know him personally?
In a way. He and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated on a few different projects for the homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh yes, I was a teenager back then, full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride and showed me how I should follow my heart regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Okay.
Does the name Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. I was a substitute teacher in her high school for some time before I was ordained.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
Alright, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school a lot, and when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like she had a whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is that when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
I don't recognize that name, no.
Do you know anything about an art theft at the Wade Estate in the 80s?
I have just a vague memory of reading about it in the paper.
Do you know who Franklin Goldfarb is?
I am afraid not, my child.
Care to tell me the history of the church?
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman and was driving through this area as he'd done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the sign of God. This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed. The stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was in the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone where.
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983.
The Holy Ghost, yeah.
That's when I stepped in to take leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you the church is still very much thriving.
Looks kinda empty.
Says the priest in an empty church, eh?
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? Trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
Sure.
Father, do you know anything about this flower?
No, my child. Nothing at all.
I could, but I think I have more to gain from a subtle strategy. I'll keep it to myself for now, until I know more about this church. Do you recognize the men in this picture, Isaac?
Only your grandfather, and that's just because I was given a similar picture for the service the other day.
I don't need to show. That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
Yeah. No. No to the flower. I don't know the flower. What are you in about? What flower? Let's see, I'm not happy to keep clicking the seagull. I guess nothing, right? But that's kind of cute.
It's totally overflowing with cigarette butts.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
No Nathan today?
Nah, haven't seen Nate all day. Probably out in the woods.
The left half is torn off. Is this how Nathan still sees himself? As a little boy? That must be Lily. She seems very happy. I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
I don't need to ask her about that. Did you know that somebody stole Lily's paintings from Wade?
Huh? No, I knew he got robbed a few years back, but I thought he still had them all.
I don't need to ask. Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
You mean Goober? Nobody calls him Franklin anymore.
Right, that's Goober. Sue, what do you see in this picture?
My God, that looks like one of Lily's paintings.
Wow, really? Can you describe it?
It was a nighttime scene, just like the photo, but the lights were floating above the lake. There was a pale hand reaching up from beneath the surface trying to touch them. The forest in the background was on fire, making the sky purple and red. There were probably other details too, but that's what I can remember.
Sounds captivating. Wish I could have seen it. Do you know anything about this flower?
Sure, smoked it a few times back in the day, before it was endangered and all.
Yeah? What was it like?
Similar to pot, but stronger and more unpredictable. Never touched this stuff after I got pregnant with Lily.
All right. I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
It's the Catmobile, my custom chopper bike. Plenty of gas in the tank. She was born a 76 Corley Motors, but there aren't many original parts left. Took me a couple of years to make her perfect.
Yes, to the Catmobile.
A family mausoleum. Isaac's family must be pretty rich. Those things don't come cheap. It says Price. It must belong to Isaac's family. No reason to go in there. The grave is brimming with flowers. I'm gonna find out what happened to you, Grandpa. I promise. Hello? Creepy bald guy. Guess no one's home. What's this? A bald man dressed in red. Oh, creepy. Looks like a specimen of the red scythe.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
Looks like Nathan knows the strange red man. I need to talk to him about this.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
No, he's not back yet. Okay, so I need to figure out where he is then. But she said he was somewhere in the woods. Maybe we've got to find him in the woods?
It's endangered. I'm not gonna take it without a really good reason.
Okay.
I need a word, Miss Mendez.
Wait, how do you know my name?
It's written on that board behind you, genius.
You have the eyesight of a bald eagle or something?
What can I say? I'm a freak of nature. What happened to Goober, anyway?
Who?
The guy who had the seizure?
Oh, he ran off somewhere. Kept babbling about a religious near-death experience.
Okay, thanks.
So he might have gone to the church, I guess.
Was expecting plastic, but this looks like a real plant. Ah, there he is. Hello again, Goober.
You again? Are you stalking me, girl? You pop up everywhere I go. I'll try to tone down the charm, but I can't promise it.
Huh, yeah, you're quite the charmer.
I know. I just said that, man.
Listen, I feel kind of bad about the electrocution.
Oh, that's what it was. What a cherry on top of my stellar performance.
Yeah, it was pretty convincing.
So what brings you to the house of God? Come to repent?
I'm afraid that ship has long since sailed, buddy. I had a few things I wanted to ask you about, though.
Shoot, Missy!
I don't need to ask him about that. I should probably confront him directly about him being a witness. Your real name is Franklin Goldfarb, right?
Oh, nobody calls me that.
Regardless, I know for a fact that you were a witness to a burglary a few years back at the Wade Estate.
Yeah, what about it?
Why don't you tell me what you saw exactly?
I heard the alarm go off, glass breaking, then I saw 3 guys running away, carrying a bunch of stuff.
What did they look like?
It was dark, I don't know, they were definitely 3 big, bulky guys. They
what?
Oh, nothing, that's it. Didn't see anything else.
Bullshit, spit it out.
Well, one of those guys dropped his ring when running away. I sort of pawned it.
A ring? What kind of ring?
Platinum with an inscription. 2 letters, B something. Man, I don't remember. My photographic memory stopped working in 1979.
Which pawn shop was that?
Pete's Pawning and Plumbing. It closed down a long time ago, though. Owner left town. There's a coffee shop back there now.
Too bad. Guess that's a dead end. Thanks anyway. Didn't I see 2 letters fitting that description recently? Not on a building. It was something small. Did the inscription on the ring look anything like this?
Wow, actually exactly like that.
Any idea what BH stands for?
Beehive? Bet high? Big head?
I don't need to ask him about that. Okay, that's all for now.
See ya!
Hello, Isaac. I've got a few more questions for you.
I'm all ears, my child.
Do you know what BH means? It's inscribed on this lighter.
I'm sorry, but no.
This may sound strange, but have you heard of or seen a strange man dressed in red?
Only our Lord and Savior Jesus. Surely his rags were drenched in blood as he lay upon the cross.
That's not what I meant. I mean someone here, in Conwell Springs.
Are you joking? I haven't seen a person like that, no.
That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
Oh, hello, dear.
Mind if we talk for a bit, Grandma?
Not at all, dear. What's on your mind?
Do you recognize the acronym BH? It's on Dad's lighter.
Yes, dear. It means the Black Hats. They're those ruffians on motorcycles whom your father is associated with.
Oh, his biker gang. That makes sense. I don't see a reason to ask her about that. What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
I refuse to talk about those hoodlums. They turned your father into a horrible person. You should stay far away from them, Kathy. They're awful people, just awful.
Bye, Grandma. I'll be back later.
So long.
Possibly. Maybe they bought black hats, who knows?
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
They've caused us trouble from time to time, but they've been kind of quiet lately. We put a few of their captains in the slammer over the years, but we never managed to find enough dirt on their leader. Bo Brunson. Big Bo.
Do you know where I can find them?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just find a map.
Got it. Thanks. Do you know anything about a weird bald guy dressed in red around here?
You're joking, right?
Oh, never mind. Well, gotta go.
See ya.
Sweet butt incoming!
Like hell I am. I'm nobody's property.
You sure? Doesn't she look like a sweet butt? Little slut? I think she does.
Step off, creep.
Or what? You tell your daddy on me?
You think I need my daddy to kick your pathetic ass?
Oh, I love it when they play hard to get.
Let go of me!
Oh!
What the hell's going on out here?
Nothing, Prez. Just having a bit of fun with this gash here.
I suggest you leash that dog of yours.
For fuck's sake, Prospect, not again. Get the hell out of here.
Sorry, boss, I'll go. Fuck, that hurt, you cunt.
He'll be disciplined for that.
He better be. I take it you're Bo?
I am. And who are you, darling?
Kathy Rain.
Bullshit. She lives in the city with her deranged mother. Who are you, really? Did the Vandals send you?
No, they didn't. I am Kathy Rain.
Prove it, then.
Well, I would, but I left my ID back home.
That's convenient. I think I've wasted enough time with you.
I need to figure out some proof. This proof enough for you?
I'll be damned. That's Brian's lighter, all right. Sorry about the paranoia. We've had some problems with the Vandals lately.
I get it. Can't be too careful.
So, that's your ride out there. Corley Motors, right? 78?
76.
You got the same taste as your old man. He always rode Corleys.
Probably the only thing he and I have in common.
Did you set up those mods yourself? Looks custom made for your, small frame.
Yeah, took some time to get the measurements right.
I imagine so. Girls like you don't often ride heavy bikes.
I'm not most girls.
Ain't that the truth? Most girls don't just waltz into places like this either.
I guess you'd know. Anyway, I had some questions for you in the club.
Go ahead, then. Your old man was a good brother, so I'll indulge you for now.
Do you know anything about what happened to Joseph Rain in 1981?
No, we had our differences, me and him, but that's a horrible fate for a man. I'd rather be dead than a vegetable.
So I take it you and him didn't get along.
No, I could write a book about that man. On one page I'd praise him, on the next I'd want to smash his skull in. He could be a real self-righteous prick when he wanted to, that's for sure. But everyone knew he was the real law around here. Truman was a tool. I respected Joseph, and he respected me, but he hated how Brian looked up to me. Joseph always blamed the club for the path Brian chose in life, even though it was just due to him being a shitty father.
You seriously thought Grandpa was a bad parent?
Everybody knew about it. People just tend to forget the bad qualities of men in wheelchairs. Joseph wasn't a saint. He saw everything in black and white. He was only kind to whomever he considered to be good by his narrow moral standards. The ones who wouldn't fit in that small mold didn't get any chances, none whatsoever.
Do you know anything about Lily Myers?
Nothing that anyone else around here couldn't tell you.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
No.
Tell me, how long have you been the president of this club?
15 years now, give or take. VP for 10 before that.
Good. Then you can tell me why you stole Lily Myers' paintings from Charles Wade in '86.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'd recommend you be careful with wild accusations like that.
Oh, cut the bullcrap. I know it was you. I did some digging and found evidence pointing to the club.
Is that so? Better be a good girl and present it to the sheriff then.
I couldn't care less about ratting you out, Bo. I just need to know what you did with the art.
I have no intention of discussing your delusions as if they were facts, girl. Don't make me tell you again.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
Do I look like a pious man to you? I've peed on churches.
What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
Black Hats MC was founded in the 60s by my old man, my uncle, and 2 other local bikers. Conwell Springs is the mother chapter, and we have support clubs in 6 other locations across 3 states. There's a total of 16 members here, 12 patch, 4 prospects. I'm the acting president of this chapter as well as of the whole club. Have been for more than 15 years.
The law give you any trouble?
It used to be tough when your granddad was around. He and Truman ran a tight ship.
And now?
Now they try, but Boyce and the boy are a nuisance at best.
This may be a weird question, but have you ever met a bald man dressed in red?
I've made a few bald men red. That count?
I don't need to show him that. Care to join me for a smoke, Bo?
Sorry, darling, I'm trying to quit.
Do you know what this is?
Whoa.
What? Do you recognize that?
I saw one of those with my own eyes a few years ago.
Really? Where?
Middle of the woods, the road to the city. Those things came from nowhere and gave me this crazy headache right on the plate in my head. At the time, I thought it was just a nasty case of migraine.
You have a plate in your head?
Yeah, titanium from a shrapnel wound I got in there.
I see. Titanium isn't the least bit magnetic, is it?
How the hell should I know? I'm no scientist.
Do you remember where exactly on the road it happened?
No. Like I said, I dismissed it as a migraine. Didn't pay too much attention as to where I was.
Fair enough. Do you know anything about this flower, Bo?
Do I look like a florist to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
You crack me up, girl.
All right, I'm gonna hit the road.
Right on. I have some business to take care of, but make yourself at home.
Thanks, Bo. See you around.
Hey, Brian's girl.
Yeah?
I overheard you. I'm Emmett.
Hey.
The boss man isn't usually that grumpy. He's got a lot on his mind. But I think I may know of a way to loosen him up.
I'm all ears, buddy.
Well, Bo and Brian are the double Bs, as we used to call them. They used to have this drink together. Brian came up with it. He called it a Bloodier Mary.
Sounds like my kind of drink.
Yeah, it's basically a Bloody Mary, but with pig blood instead of tomato juice.
I take that back. Gross.
I'm kidding. It's just a Bloody Mary, but with a special ingredient added to it.
If you say that special ingredient is blood, I will literally punch you.
No. Brian refused to tell anyone what it was. He only made it for special occasions. It's probably something uncommon, like a rare herb or some kind of expensive spice.
So let me guess. If I can produce this drink for Bo, you think he would help me out?
It'll make him remember Brian, which should go a long way. He hasn't had that drink since your old man disappeared. Brian was like a son to him. The boss would have died for him back in the day. If you could recall the good times with your father, he might change his mind.
I guess it could be worth a try. But wait, why are you helping me?
You're Brian's kid. That means you're family. We take care of family.
Well, how was that drink compared with a regular Bloody Mary?
Tasted a bit more like pepper and had a punch to it. It usually gave some pretty nasty hangovers. Oh, if you had a lot of them, you'd hallucinate some crazy shit. Pretty wild.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Sounds like something familiar, I think. Yep. It's that flower, isn't it? Flower power. What it is.
Sorry, endangered flower, but I really need to make a drink.
Oh no, you've been caught by a squirrel. It saw it. It's like, I'm gonna rat you in now. Dun dun dun. Especially if the pollen gives you like massive migraines. You know, that would be terrible, right?
Hey, bartender, do you happen to know how to make a Bloodier Mary?
You mean a Bloody Mary?
No, this is something different.
Afraid not. I can make your regular Bloody Mary, though, if you want.
Maybe later. I need to figure something out.
All right, then.
Hey, Bo, I have some more questions.
I'm listening.
I should give it to the bartender and... All right, I'm gonna hit the road.
Ride safe.
I'd like a Bloody Mary.
Coming right up.
Oh, and add this, will you? Just something I like for flavor. Put it in a blender.
Whatever you say. One Bloody Mary. Enjoy.
Thanks, buddy.
The club will cover that, Jose?
Sure thing, VP.
Thanks again, Emmett.
You got it.
Hey, Bo. I've got something for you.
I recognize that smell. You found your dad's recipe.
Something like that.
Man, is this a trip down memory lane? I keep expecting Brian to walk in here any second. You know, all this nostalgia is making me remember how much I really owe your old man.
Yeah?
Yeah, so here's the deal. In '86, Carl, my VP at the time, came to me and said he had a job lined up for the club. Some guy had offered him good dough for stealing a bunch of paintings from a mansion. He needed 2 brothers for the job. I was busy with other things at the time, so I gave my permission as long as the club got the usual cut. He returned a week later with a nice wad of cash. I didn't realize it was Wade he had knocked off until I read the paper. If I had known that, I'd advised against it. Wade is a powerful man with friends in city council. There's no reason to piss him off.
Got it. So, what do you know about the guy who hired you for the job?
Not much. Carl said it was some bearded preacher.
Whoa, Isaac from the Church of the Holy Trinity?
Could be. I don't know who that is. It was a priest. I know that much.
Thanks, Bo. I'm gonna follow up on this right away.
That's it? You're not
Dun,
gonna
dun,
ask me about what
dun.
happened to your old man? Not even curious?
I couldn't give 2 shits about that asshole.
Bullshit. Don't expect anyone to believe you're that angry with someone you don't give 2 shits about.
Either he's dead or he abandoned me. Do any of those options look appealing to you?
They don't, but you should know that no one from the club had anything to do with it. I meant it when I said Brian was a good brother. He had no enemies here. Not then, and not now.
Comforting to hear, Mr. President.
Shut up and listen, girl. I'm trying to tell you something. Brian used to talk about heading to Mexico, about riding off into the sunset and getting away from all his newfound responsibilities. And I think part of him was serious. You deserve to know that there's a chance he's still out there somewhere.
Sure. Let's hope that bastard is living it up somewhere.
Just take care of yourself, you hear?
You too. That day went by fast. I think I'm gonna ask if I can stay the night at Grandma's.
Right, well, before we carry on, I'm just gonna BRB one sec, guys. And I'm back. So let's carry on, shall we?
Hello, sweetheart.
Hey, Grandma, it got kinda late. Would it be okay if I stay the night?
Of course, dear. Have a seat. I'll make you something to eat.
Oh, you're the best. I'm starving.
Do you see? You are both unwanted, both discarded. Good. Lick the flames, buddy boy. Lick the flames and feel the hatred burn.
Oh, weird guy. Weird, creepy guy.
Lily's painting, burning, and the kid from the cemetery. It's gotta mean something. What really happened to you that night, Grandpa? I'm sure the church is hiding something. I don't trust that priest. There's something really off about him. Nah, I don't need to make it. I should go see what Grandma is up to first.
Oh, good morning. Hi, Kathy.
What the... Morning. Wow, this is quite the surprise.
You have such a lovely friend, dear. We've been chatting all morning.
Oh, I have no doubt. She's quite the talker, this one.
You sleep even longer here than you do back home.
Oh, gee, must be the blissful lack of distractions here, E. Can I talk to you for a sec, outside, alone?
Okie dokie, if your grandmother doesn't mind being left all by yourself for a while.
Sure. You go ahead, children. I'll be right here if you need me.
This is not cool. What are you doing here, Eileen?
Helping you, silly. Why else would I be here?
Clearly to torment me in one way or another. It was a single morning devoid of Eileen, too much to ask. I'm frankly surprised that I'm allowed bathroom breaks by myself with you in the same building.
I was super bored. Besides, you never got back home last night. I wanted to make sure you were okay.
Well, as you can plainly see, I'm not a corpse.
You could be a very convincing zombie.
Very funny. You can go home now, E.
Fine. I won't tell you what I found in my research yesterday then.
Ugh, I hate you.
I'm so glad you asked. I looked up a few statistics for this county, looking for any anomalies. First off, there's a high number of missing persons reports in the area. That wouldn't be too unusual if, let's say, the county had a high crime rate. But it doesn't. Violent crimes are actually lower than in other comparable counties.
Huh. That's just outright creepy.
It gets even better. It turns out that this county has the highest number of clinically insane in the state. And guess what? Conwell Springs County is tiny. Per capita, the difference to the county in second place is humongous, over 1,000%.
That makes some sense. I found out that this cocky person is Loctite at Ingstrom's.
Wow, we should go talk to him, right? He must have some answers.
That's the plan. I should probably fill you in on the rest I found. So, I'm gonna head over there today and confront Isaac about the paintings.
Don't you think it's a bit risky, Kathy? It could just backfire and piss him off.
Oh, I'm hoping it will. Nothing wrong with some good old provocation to make people show their true colors.
You never gave him the picture of the lights, right?
Nah, I didn't want the guy to faint. He sounded pretty brainwashed about the Holy Trinity thing.
And none of the church people know who I am, right?
I guess not. So?
My point is that you grilled the priest good yesterday. You already tried it your way. I'm a fellow Christian. Maybe I could try something different, like make up a cute cover story and pretend to want to join their church. If he still won't trust me, I can show him my copy of the picture. Maybe it will make him open up.
I suppose it would give me enough time to drive back to the city and talk to Jimmy before it gets too late.
Yay! Oh, let's do it! I'm so excited. I can't wait to lie to people.
You know that's a sin, right?
Oh, I'm sure Jesus will make an exception this time. After all, he loves me.
I'm not gonna waste any time then. Let's catch up on the phone tonight.
Okie dokie. Talk to you later.
Hello, Jimmy. I've been looking for you.
Oh, is it for real this time?
Yes, this is all very real.
So you're going to ask me about Joseph now?
How do you know that? Who told you?
You did. Every time you came here.
You're not making any sense, Jimmy. We've never met before.
I'm making perfect sense. Everyone says so. I'm the sharpest tool in the shed. All bets are off now, Missy. Better buckle up and enjoy the ride. Forget all the rules. No going from top to bottom. No checking off all the items on your list. Start by asking me about the young chronicler.
Who? The young chronicler.
What do you know about the man in red?
No, that's not the chronicler.
Was Lily Myers the chronicler?
The drowned girl, yes. She saw the loops, the endless possibilities. She found that the branches had all been severed. Nothing but inevitability remained, staring her right in the eye. In the end, she was pulled across the great threshold, just like I was. I was next.
Next for what?
You're not listening. I'm next.
What happened to you, Jimmy? Why are you in this place?
I'm not. I'm 6 feet under, looking up, watching reruns without a care in the world. You know, Joseph was a beacon. His passing sent ripples traveling in all directions, touching all of us with burning intensity. In my case, resulting in immobilizing guilt. After all, I sent him out there. It was all my fault.
What was? What did you ask him to do?
Be patient. We'll get there eventually. We need to follow the rules. Let's continue, ironically, with the men who break the rules.
You mean the Black Hats? They're the men who break the rules?
Indeed. Your father broke every rule in the book, did he not?
That's a mild way of putting it.
I feel your pain, but you will be free of him soon enough. I've seen you atop a great pit, dropping the last remaining memento of him into the empty blackness below. Your mother, on the other hand, that's a story with a different ending.
You know Mom? How is she?
Why don't you see her yourself and find out?
It's complicated. Last time we met was ugly.
Looking away won't make it any less ugly, Kathy.
I know, just not yet.
Very well. Let's go see the man you reunited with his family.
Do you know what happened to my grandfather in 81?
No, that's not him.
The man you reunited with family.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
No, that's not him.
The man in red? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, indeed.
Who is he really?
The collector of souls, the one who beckons and prepares. Some call him a spirit guide, others a devil dressed in red. You are doing so much better than the last time. Now, ask me about the first thing you can think of.
What happened to my grandfather in 81?
Oh, poor Joseph. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong friends, wrong life. An unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. There had to be course correction, Kathy. The house always wins.
What did you ask him to do?
I asked him to find the source and destroy it. For me, for Lily, for all of us.
The source of what?
Everything. The madness, the betrayals, the limitless suffering.
How would he do that?
I don't know. Joseph had a plan. He had allies.
Allies? Who?
The man in red. Someone else, too.
I found the message you left for Grandpa. You said, "It happened to you too." What did?
Meeting the lights, of course. Don't you have my picture from the night in the forest?
You mean this?
Oh, yes. They felt so warm, so comfortable, luring me in. But when they got close, I could feel my mind split in two. I found myself with one foot on either side of the line, the thin line between hell and here. It felt like breathing through my nose with my mouth underwater. No wonder some sink beneath the surface, never to be heard from again.
Was that what happened to Joseph, Jimmy? Did he sink to the bottom?
I wish I knew. I'm just a man stuck with his ear up against the wall, picking up a word here and there. I am so tired, Kathy. I can feel the lights even now. Endless static in my head, like a TV tuned to a dead channel.
But what are they? Where do they come from?
The cradle of obscurity. The alpha to our omega. The distorted mirror.
Why are you constantly speaking in riddles?
Why do you assume I have a choice? We are nearing the end. Ask me about the misguided faithful.
Is the Church of the Holy Trinity the misguided faithful?
They are, yes.
What makes you call them that?
Isn't it obvious? They believe the lights are divine. The lights are neither divine nor unholy. They are but a twisted reflection of us. The judge and the jury, our innermost child, our greatest fear, everything we long for and desire. It's more than most of us can take. The cup runneth over.
How do I stop them?
You must go to their birthplace, their source. You must go to the cradle. It's the only way to save your friend.
What? Are you talking about Eileen?
Yes, she is being claimed. She's in great danger. You have to go back, Kathy. Nurse!
I need more than that, Jimmy.
Nurse, help!
Poor guy.
I need to find Eileen. It's an altar. You know, the place where they put the sacrificed goats, kids, and other crap. Impressive window. There's no doubt about it. Those are the smoky lights. Could lead to a sacristy or a closet. There they are again, watching my every move in this place. William T. Price. So that's Father Bill. Looks more like a businessman than a cult leader. Just old furniture and boxes filled with random junk. Nothing unusual, just a schedule of typical church events. Found a large old key in here.
Hey, what are you doing in here?
Cut the bullcrap! Where is she? Where's Eileen?
What in the Lord's name are you talking about?
Red-haired girl, I know she came here to see you. Tell me where she is, or I'm calling the cops.
I don't think that's quite necessary.
Breaking and entering, are we?
Oh, shit. It's not what it looks like.
Oh, really? Is it some kind of optical illusion?
If you just listen for a second, I can explain.
You can explain all you want through the bars of a cell. Hands behind your back, now! You better hope that Father Price doesn't press charges.
I want my phone call.
Can't hear you in there.
You are such a fucking prick.
Enjoy your little vacation. I know I will.
Well, this blows. And I smell like goober. Fan-fucking-tastic. I need to get out of here. Who knows what that freak is doing to Eileen right now? Okay, now what? That action doesn't seem productive. That action doesn't... Worth a shot. Oops. These paper clips might be useful. Okay, let's see if I still got it. Not perfect, but they should get the job done. I'm so good. Okay, got all my things back. The key I found in the church, too. Huh?
Hopes in jar. An inkier heart. Rule me, Nemesis.
What the hell? Good thing the bike was still where I left it.
I did what you asked, Father, but something is different about this one. It's not taking like it should. She may be protected. Yes, we'll just have to wait and see. More souls, then. Yes, they all deserve to bask in the glory of God. Hey, what's that?
Eat this! Eileen? Snap out of it! No, God, it's happening again. Just like it did with Grandpa. What did he do to you? She's catatonic, breathing but unresponsive, just like Grandpa. Let's get these ropes off of you. Wake up, E. Wake up, E. That should do it. He had a key on him. A small key with a tag attached labeled Storage A5. Maybe there's a self-storage facility in town. It looks a lot like the key I found in the attic. Maybe they're somehow related. You won't get away with this. Wake up, E.
All right, we'll take it from here.
Should we bring what's her name to the clinic?
Eileen, and no, she's not physically hurt. It's just shock, that's all. I'll take care of her. Please, just drop us off at Grandma's.
All right then, but don't think you're off the hook for that stunt you pulled at the station. Considering the circumstances, I'm gonna refrain from hauling your ass back to that cell. But you better not leave town until we've sorted all this out, or you can look forward to a statewide APB. Got it?
That's more than fair, Sheriff. Thanks.
Good. Come by the station when you've dropped off your friend. We'll need to take your statement.
I will. It's my fault this has happened to her.
No, it's not. You know exactly who's to blame. That vile man behind bars or whoever is pulling his strings. Go there, find out what he knows, and get to the bottom of this. It's too late for Joseph, but maybe she still has a chance.
Well, I'm sure as hell not gonna wait here for her to rot away.
Good. She'll be safe with me.
All right then, I'm off.
Right, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to call it a day for the stream today. So we're going to save this as... I can't even remember what day it is now, but we'll just do stream 2 because, you know, second part of the stream. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. There might be a stream tomorrow, or I don't know, it depends on like how busy tomorrow is. If not, the next stream will be as usual on the Thursday. So yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream, and let's go to the main menu. There we go, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.